G'day everyone. I hope you're loving this weather. I think there's another storm coming right now. Hey, we've spent the last weeks listening and looking to see what the main game is for our church, and some specifics are falling into place. But the main game hasn't changed since Jesus first called us to follow him. He said, "Be my witnesses, and as you go, make disciples." Tell your faith story to someone. Help them take a step closer to Jesus. That's the goal. That's the main game. There it is. I'm not using a rugby league analogy about tries and conversions, but with salvation comes the responsibility. Our top priority, our purpose, our activity within the kingdom of God is to share our faith story so that people who trust us will trust God and take a step or two closer to Jesus. It's kind of that simple. And it's a team game. It's the activity in which all the joys and challenges of bringing our God-given gifts and skills and training come together. It's what you want to do. It's that thing that you go, yeah, I want to give that a crack. It's like playing with your team in the finals. It's something we look forward to. It's about the people and the purpose that we commit to make a priority. We want to see the results of our efforts. That's goals scored. We want to see personal change and group community change. That's transformation. And we aim to celebrate after each week. That's worship. And one day we want to celebrate after the grand final. Now, this message is meant as an encouragement and a challenge. So please accept it in that way. No successful sports club begins with a perfect pitch, lighting, grandstands, and a clubhouse, the envy of all the clubs around them. It starts with a handful of committed players who dream of leaving a legacy for the next generation and for others to join and take part. And churches are the same. However you imagine a successful church, it began with a handful of disciples committed to build something new as a witness. They were disciples who made disciples. They were witnesses who went out and asked others to come and follow Jesus. Such a church is a team, and it plays the long game. And supporters who back them stay through the seasons, win, lose, or draw, because they love the main game. They get a thrill out of doing what that team was formed to do. Our team is formed to be Jesus' witnesses, to be disciples who call more disciples. Ask ourselves, do we give the church the same priority and commitment people young and old give to sport? Would we sign up for a season but then not go to training and still expect to be able to play well? Even stranger, would we sign up, turn up to play the game, but then ask, can we just sit on the sidelines and watch? Being a witness and making disciples is a team game, and the whole team has to play. Each of us is capable of sharing the good news of Jesus, because each of us is gifted and called to do more than watch from the sidelines. If you thought Sunday in whatever church you imagine, is the main game, no. It's the vital weekly training and practice. That's where we practice our drills and skills, where we spend our time together getting to know each other, seeking help on our weaknesses and offering our strengths. The main game is played during the week, being witnesses and disciples who call others to come and follow Jesus. That's the joy, that's the challenge, that's the purpose of the team. Now, we cannot take to the court without having been at training. And there's no point going to training to then not go out there and score goals. Bells is going to ask for a sign-on. The season is 2 years, because that's how long we have grant funding for a half-time captain coach. If you were at training Sunday night, you heard the stats from around the world. The churches that are growing fastest, having the biggest impact, bearing fruit in their community, being a powerful witness and seeing new disciples come are 25 to 40 members without a full-time ministry staff. They don't have buildings of their own. They pray together, asking God for the extraordinary instead of focusing on what they don't have. They read the scriptures together in order to live better, and they replicate themselves. They create another team for the comp, and another and another. Bell's Faith Community already has the first 3. We're learning to do 4 and 5. Will we sign on, commit to be at training, and then play in such a way that others want to join the team, and we establish a second team by the end of 2020? The end of this year. There are easier ways to be church than a missional community such as Bell's. I get that, I know. But here we are, and are we here to see people we love come to know the now and forever joys of following Jesus? Or is this a social sport? It's a big question. It's a good question. And it's asked in love. See you Sunday.